Guys, welcome to Thursday Night Race Club TNRC. Start on comms. We're just confirming whether we're starting lobby or not. I think a few guys didn't get to get on, but I think we're good to go either way. Already started with a short qualifier session. 18 minutes started. We got about 12 and a half minutes left to go actually here. And a few lap times already in, starting with Dave holding a provisional pole of 133.4. Not too bad at all. And let's see, we got a 134.4 from Smitty, about a second off. But I'm quite sure they're trying to improve the time. They have enough time to actually get that done. Let's just switch on to someone else currently running on a hot lap here. Let's see what's happening. I think we got our stats on screen already. We'll just put on tires for the moment, at least for the qualifying, at least to see what's going on, what tires everyone is currently running on. I think there's a general issue. Most of the drivers having some trouble getting Twitch stream started to record race footage, which is why we're a little bit late starting with the comms, just to make sure what's going on. Probably that's on, I'm not sure if there's a different server for Europe than there is for the US. It might be down on that side. I'm not sure what's happening, but I know Twitch does goes down sometime. Either way, Board is already out of the session, so 17 drivers in. Not too bad for almost a full grid either way, just about 3 drivers missing, I think. So either way, it should be still quite an interesting race. We did have S1R1 just a few days ago. Their race was quite interesting here for round 1 at Russia as well. And just so we go through, guys, so Thursday Night Race Club is the second league that's run under the UELA admin's team. So we have S1R1 and TNRC. So they are done on different days, one on Sunday, one on Thursday. But either way, we're still getting to see quite an interesting race. It was interesting for the Sunday race that we had happen. I think it was about 2 safety cars and a few VSCs, but still more than 10 drivers were able to finish the race, and it was quite an interesting session. I think that race footage is still available on the Twitch channel, also on UELA's YouTube channel, and mine as well. So we can always have a look back at what happened there on that. Anyway, format for this session is pretty simple as it is. We did go through it's an 80-minute qualifying session, and we're going to get straight into formation lap after this, and then straight into our 50% race. So I think about total time we'll be spending on here will be about at least an hour and a half. So we're already 8 minutes down from qualifying. It's about 10 minutes remaining now, and we're just having a look at, let's see how many more drivers are yet to bring in some lap times here. Mostly they'll have at least 2 to 3 go at this before the end of the session, sometimes 4 tries just to get a good lap time in, because we do have some invalidated laps happening from time to time with drivers, and maybe some drivers getting knocked out of the session as Board is already out without making a lap time, which means he will probably be starting from 18. Now we're following Wilco right now. Let's see, I'm just trying to make sure the control is currently working. Yeah, it is fine so far. Just switching between onboard cam and overhead view. So Wilco on an out lap right now. So is Mini Smoke. And let's see who's currently running a hot lap at the moment. I think AJ in his Ferrari, he's still in sector 1 and going. So we're going to see what sort of lap time he's able to bring in. So far, Dave's still holding on to the fastest lap of 133.2. Luke was able to take P2 for the time being, at least 2 tenths slower with a 133.4, not too bad. And then EXO 07 with a 133.8, about 4 tenths off. So some pretty interesting lap times. All the way coming down to the worst time we have is Rapsy so far with a 138.1. I think he just had a bad lap on that occasion there. Quite sure he'll be trying for a better lap on the next. Oh, and that's an invalidation from AJ4, so you have to try that again. I think Colm is on a hot lap as well. Let's see what sector is he in. He's about to go into sector 2, just pull off a purple sector 1. So on for a pretty good lap so far. If we can get on board, which I'm trying to do right now, controller seems to be giving some issues sometimes. Just to see, it does look a bit cloudy for this qualifying session. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right or not. Maybe that's going to be a little bit dependent in terms of what track temperature is going to be like. in terms of performance for the cars there as well. So they're going to have to be a little bit careful about that. Overall, I think it seems to be doing pretty well for everyone. So most of our cars in the 133 to 134 range. I think, I guess the 133 is where you want to be to start. Higher up in the grid at the moment. I think Chrome did have a bit of a, I guess like almost they're losing the rear a bit, but I think he's still going pretty well. I did not pay attention to see if he had a purple sector 2 or not, but it seems to have a pretty good lap as he just took a provisional pole of 132.5. More than at least for more than close to a second faster than what Dave's time was. So getting into a whole new territory, the 132s now. Let's see if anyone else is able to get it in there. Yeah, Miniscope, he's just begun his hot lap going in sector 1 right now, so he's got a bit of a way to go as yet before he does get around and finish that lap. We're going to have a look and see who else is currently running here. Wilco might be on the lap as I guess he is currently in sector 3 and going. I'm going to follow on board with him for just a bit to see if Racing Point is able to put their car into at least maybe the top 3 for a start. We do have his teammate starting place in P6 at the moment, and another outlap at the moment has a 134.1. I think that's going to give him at least maybe a pretty good qualifying time if he is able to keep it there, which I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to hold it. Wilco goes 10th right now, 135.8. Might want to try and improve a little bit on that. Does have about 6.5 minutes left in the session, so there's a little bit of time to work with. Of course, short qualifying sessions do tend to go out pretty quickly, not a lot of time to get a good lap time in just for a great way to start. And we saw from the race we had with SNRC here at Russia for their round 1, it was a bit chaotic getting into the first lap. I think we had a safety car before we even finished the first sector on lap 1, so we're going to see if that's going to be a repeat for TNRC here today, or they're going to actually get through the first lap without having even a VSC. Would be actually great to see, but Russia is such a track that first few corners, at least in sector 1, it is a little bit difficult. Cars tend not to get so far apart depending on how far the run is going down into the turn 1. So everyone being so close together in terms of race pace time here as well, it's going to mean that everyone just will be together. So we're probably going to have maybe a few minor incidents happening at the start of the race. We'll have a look at that as we get to it. At TOT on his hot lap here right now. I think he's still in sector 1 and going. I think that's his teammate Colin up there in P1 at the moment, 132.5 still. Smitty now taking P2 with a 133.083. And EXO goes down to P3 right now with his 133.2. So they're still holding it at least on the second row for the start, if he can actually be able to keep it there. With just about 5 minutes left in the session though, a lot still can happen for qualifying as we've seen from the last race. So we're going to have a look to see how that is going to change. And we're able to see what sort of tires everyone did work with. Let's see what they did their best time on so far. So most of these guys are running on the softs down there, at least for the top 10, except for Sternface in P10. He did on mediums. I think he did about 2 laps on those there. So not too much of part on the mediums here. But let's see what they're going to choose to start this race with, at least for the guys down at the bottom. I think we did have one more addition into the session, because we now have 18 drivers in, which is actually great to see. They were actually able to get in before the end of qualifying. TOT is coming around to the end of his lap. These 90-degree turns are a little bit difficult to get through sometimes, especially when you're racing against another car. And let's see where he goes across the line. Goes P11 at 134.2. Not too bad. He's going to hold him there at least for now, but I think he would probably want a better start than that. Not sure he's able to get it. But I think Sternface just went P2, 132.8. Did 1/10 better than Luke there, who is currently P3, 132.9. And Requaz now is P4, 133.053. It's Smitty just behind, just a few hundredths off. So very impressive lap times from the guys so far. I got 132s to 133s going all the way down to P10 for start. So Yeah, definitely everyone's going to be a bit bunched up at the race start here. I think Jim was the driver who just joined on and just invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to try that again. But just about 3 minutes left, so I'm assuming he's going to have to do it on those same set of tires he has there. I don't think he has enough time to get into the pits and get out back again, still yet make that lap time, so he's going to have to just let it be for now. Low Star invalidated his time there as well. He's going to have to continue on those same set of tires as well, running on the softs. I'm not sure how much lap he already did on them, but he's going to have to continue going on them. I see we got AJ still on his out lap. Not sure if he's going to be able. Oh, and he not doing so well on his out lap. Hopefully the hot lap that he's going to get started here is going to be a lot better. Maybe keep on the overhead view with him for just a bit to see how this goes. I think that's his teammate getting out back just behind him. That's this is there, I think, or Prix. I'm not even sure who that is at the moment. But quite a few cars getting back out on track right now just to try to have at least one more go at this to see if they can improve upon their lap time. Maybe getting out on another set of fresh tires to see if they can make it around in time to get another hot lap in. Of course, if that timer comes down and reaches 0, no one is going to be able to finish. Well, whoever did pass will be able to finish their lap. Whoever didn't is not going to be able to do anything. It will be just a waste of time. So Jim not doing well on his hot lap here right now. And let's see where he is. Currently running in sector 2, so not sure where this is going to put him. Probably might have one more shot at this if he has enough fuel to go for another lap. Otherwise, he's going to be starting down at the back somewhere here. I think that's an invalidation for AJ there as well. Let's have a look at who else currently is running. I think Remy just started his hot lap not too long ago. He's currently getting to sector 2. We're into sector 2 right now. In just a bit, probably going into sector 3. So trying to improve on his 133.3 if he's able to do so. Not too bad for his qualifying time so far though. Running in P8. Didn't get a purple sector 2, but still could be on for a pretty good lap if he finishes this well. It doesn't look like Jim and AJ4 are going to be able to make that lap time before the end of the session. Not sure if Glowstar is able to get across the line before that timer does finish. And that's a 133 point, let's see where he is. 133.2 there, I think, for Grimmy putting up the P6. Not too bad so far. I think Holm was trying to do a better lap than what he did there with his 132.5, but I think that's going to be it for him as qualifying is now over. And we're in the overtime, which is just going to be counting over anyone who is currently running a hot lap. Let's see if anyone is. And I think everyone is just going to retire off the session for whoever has finished. And that's a purple sector 2 for AJ. And he does invalidate that, so that's going to be it for him. Not going to be able to make any sort of better time. I think he was on for a pretty good lap, just not able to get a good lap time in. And let's see, Jim has invalidated whatever he was doing there as well, so that's going to be it for them. I don't think, I'm not sure if anyone else is currently running. Maybe Mini Smoke is running a hot lap here, trying to get a better time in. Quite sure Mercedes is not going to be happy with the lap time he's put in, 134.4 in 12 so far. I think most of our drivers are starting to just retire off the session right now. I think everyone is finished with their lap. That's going to be it for him. I think everyone is just heading back to the pits at the moment here, so that should be it for the session at least. Let's see if Dave is trying to do another. Oh, and he did do another lap. Goes P2 now, 132.6. Not too bad at all though. Let's see, how far is he? He's just about a 1/10 off of Combs time, so not too bad. Just about a minute and a half left in extra time, and that should be it for our qualifying session. We don't get straight into a race session, but we'll have to go through a formation lap first. Shouldn't take too long, and then get straight into a 50% race. Looking forward to see how lap 1 is going to go on this account for TNRC. Let's see if they're going to have a better go than what SNRC had last Sunday. Maybe they'll be able to have more drivers actually finish on this race, but it still was a pretty good race, the last one. I think everyone is done. I think that's it. There will be just one driver left to retire from the session there, and that should be it. Anyway, it's about 30 seconds left, and we'll be getting straight into qualifying. Into the race. I don't think anyone else is running. I think it's just Jim left to retire from the session. Alright guys, I think he gets retired, so that's gonna be it for qualifying. Let's see our final results and then wait to get straight into the race session. Alright, so Coolm does take it for a pole position for the race start. Dave starts alongside him in second. It's going to be Diesel in P3. Sternface goes fourth. Luke in fifth. Requires 6. Smitty in seventh. Grimmy in 8th. Got pushed down just a bit. It had all the way up to 6. And then Exo there in 9th. You got Lord in 10th. Mini Smoke in 11th. TOT in 12th. You got Rabs in 13th. Wilco 14th. Jim there joining on a bit late, but still getting in 15th. Bird in 16, AJ in 17, and Glove Star there in 18. So a few drivers not able to make lap time. That's from 15th all the way down. Still, hopefully they can make it up in the race session, which we're about to get to in just a bit. the formation lap. We're just going to have to go around for just a bit just to get everything warmed up. It does look very sunny and bright, so I don't think we should have any weather issues for the race session. Guys, I think everyone is back. We formed to the grid and we're just about to get started here now. Let's see if we get a front on view. If we can, I think we'll have to wait until the lights start to go out before we get front view for everyone here. Alright, there we go. I'm not going to keep too much stats on. Let's see how the first few corners go. And I'm trying to keep overhead view on most of the cars if we can. As everyone seems to be getting through pretty fine so far. I don't see any major issues. Just trying to keep an eye on the entire grid to see. We got cars going all over the track right now, so we might have maybe some minor contact between it. And yep, we do. We already have a Mercedes into the wall. 3 cars going wide off track. Definitely going to be a bit of damage. So it's a yellow flag into sector 1 so far. Not sure if that's going to result in a VSC as yet. Everything seems to be fine. That car might be going. That was Dave down with the back, getting straight into the wall. So I think he just lost his front wing, and we're still going at the moment. I think that might be it for incidents, at least for now, unless we get anybody getting too close to each other again. I think AJ just gained 1 position off of Gordon down at the back. I think he might be trying to get it back coming off from the outside and almost having some minor contact with the Ferrari, but he seems to be going well so far. Getting back out front a bit, let's see what's happening out front as leader form seems to be holding on to that lead. I think whoever was in second lost it maybe just a little bit because Dizzle is currently running in second as TO2 gets up into P5, putting Stunfist in the racing point down to P6. I mean, we might be running in a bit of a train for a while until everyone tries to catch up back to each other again here, but also running pretty close so far. I think Dave has gotten back going again. He might have some damage on his car, might have to just take a pit stop to get that repaired, and Gord is into the pits as well, so definitely took some damage from the start of this race. I haven't kept an eye to see if our leaderboard is correct or not. If we're on lap 3, I really haven't even paid attention to that. But hopefully that is running correctly. As now, no, definitely not running correct as it switched a bit, so that's going to be back to normal in just maybe a few seconds. I'll give it about 30 seconds or so. So that glitch is still going on. That's definitely not been fixed as yet, as we got a Renault just went way wide, getting back on track. Going side by side, I think that's EXO and Lord going side by side just a bit. And Grimmy getting up into 8 between them now. That Lord still pretty close to the cross down with the back, still trying to get up a gap to go on here. Let's have a look at TCV. He's able to get this done, going around the outside, and seems to have gotten past, definitely so, getting up into 9, putting across down to 10th now. He's going to be chasing after Grimmy to see if he's going to get up into 8 or not. Has a bit of a gap to go on. Of course, Grimmy not too worried about him at the moment, trying to catch a car in front of him, as that's going to be EXO and Certain Pierce right up in front, not far off, just about less than half a second actually. The gaps are pretty close around most of the cars around the track right now. And we have our leader Colm there. He has a 137.7 fastest lap on the track so far, and has a gap about at least 1.2 seconds off of Diesel, currently running in second. Luke currently running in 3, another 1.1 seconds behind. So they're both gaining some time off of each other at the moment there. Let's see what Glow Star is up to down with the back here. So he's chasing down Mini Smoke in the next Mercedes. Mercedes definitely not having a good day on track here today, with Dave having a bit of an incident at the start, and then Mini Smoke down here in 12th. So definitely losing a lot of valuable points if they are to continue at this point in the race. Not sure how well Red Bull is doing as well, because we got Glow Star in 14 and his teammate Rabsy there in 11th at the moment, both out of the points and running. They're probably going to have to see how pit stop strategy is going to be for them on this one here. This is starting to gain some time right now. He's gotten his gap down to under a second out in front. Let's see. So in very close view of this car. Colm is still trying to get back ahead here right now, but he seems to be losing some time and gaining in certain portions of the track. He's going to have to try and keep it up front, because DRS is about to be enabled here very soon, and that's going to be a bit of a disadvantage to him, where Diesel running so close behind. Luke running another 1.7 seconds behind, so he has just a bit of a way to catch up. Even a gap of just 1.7 seconds is actually a very long gap to work with here in F1, but still I think he's going to be able to catch up. This is getting very close, like 0.3 of a second for just a split second here, and he does have DRS and going, as you can hear the little beep going off. He did activate it. Wilco is out of the race. Something's happened down in the back of him. I'm not sure what happened to his car, but definitely going to be a bit of a battle between Colm and Diesel out front. The fight for the lead of the race, where I think all top 10 cars, they did start on the soft tires, so we're going to see how pit stop strategy works out for them, or how soon they are going to be pitting in the race. I think that's going to be a bit dependent on our leader there. Everyone's going to be watching for just a bit to see when they're actually going to be pitting or not, and see how long they can actually hold off on these tires. So we have just our 3 drivers so far taking penalties in the race. So still following on for just a bit, where Diesel is getting very close now to Colm, but still able to hold him off and hold on to the lead of the race. It's going to be a lot of pressure for him to just keep the lead for a number of laps, especially with a gap under a second. So he's going to have to get out of the DRS range if he wants to build a gap here, and that doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. As that gap just seems to be coming and going just by a few tenths and not going over a second to keep Diesel out of the DRS range. Both of them are actually gaining some time off of Luke down there in P3. He's about 2.3 seconds behind right now, but still you can see actually what's happening. A bit of a lockup from Diesel's car, trying to break in time to get keep his gap as close as he can to Colm here. Let's go down the grid for just a bit. So we got Luke running in third right now, kind of running his own race a bit, but he is getting caught up by Smitty, who's currently running in P4. And so TOT and Smitty just fighting out, and Diesel is out of the session. What even happened there? I don't even think we caught that. That's going to be a VSC for that incident. I'm not even sure we caught what just happened. But for some reason, Diesel is out of the session. comes to the incident involving with Smitty and TOT, and we're fighting it out just a bit. And Luke is now up into P2 and running. Let's have a look to see if Gunskar has any damage. It might have been an incident maybe between the two of them, because they were running pretty close off together. It was only a matter of time before some minor contact started to happen with the two of them. It could have been just this maybe lost control of his car. We're not 100% sure on that. That's definitely maybe something to report at the end of the race. If it was not a racing incident, in this case, I'm not sure. Our Combe here has just about the gap, but it's about 3.1 seconds. We're back racing again. VSC is over. And so he has a bit of a gap to actually work with now. Luke has some time to catch up, and let's see, he has a bit of cleaner in front of him, not too much, but just a little bit to work with to try and catch up, and he seems to be gaining some time from the restart after that. VSC still about 3 seconds behind though, and Smitty running, just trying to run under a second actually just behind him. So is TOT and Certain Face, as well as EXO, and let's see how close he is able to get to Certain Face in the racing point. Doesn't seem like it's going to be very long before these two start to try and switch positions here. Does have DRS and should be using it. We're not going to put that information on screen. Doesn't really, not too useful to us. Just to see what's happening with that, because this usually just shows the rep and if DRS is on or not. Obviously, if the driver has DRS, they're definitely going to use it and use overtake a lot of the time just to try and get around cars. And there you go, have it very close, going side by side, and does have the inside. Let's see if you see, oh, bit of minor contact, almost lost it and almost went into the wall. That would have been a bit of damage and been a bit chaotic for him. So two drivers out of the session. X is still trying to hold it up into P6. He's trying to get P5, but he's gonna have to work his way back, where he's got to go back under a second and get back in the DRS range in order to get that done. Leader seems to still be holding on to a gap there. Has lost about 7/10 of a second here. So it's down to about 2.2 seconds. His gap is between himself and Luke right now. Smitty is still running about 1.6 seconds behind now. So Luke is now gaining some time off of him. Of course, TOT is still under a second now behind Smitty. He's trying to challenge him for P3 if he's able to get that. Going a bit down the order, we got Lord running in 7, with Prix running in 8, just under, trying to get under a second actually behind him. We're obviously currently running in 9th now, so he's moved up a bit. He was running 11th earlier when we were having a look at where the Red Bull cars were. Mini Smoke is now up into 10th, trying to get up into the points and get some good points if he can for the team at the moment. We got Grimmy currently running in 11th. That's a bit of a time to catch up right now to driver in 10th, and Bird running in 12 right now. They're having a bad start to the race, and he's running in 13. Took some damage at the start. I think he took a pit stop already. We'll have a look at that and penalties in just a second. And Gloves are running 14, AJ running in 15th. So being 100% race, we're gonna see how soon we're gonna be able to start see some pit stops happening. Pit stop strategy is gonna be a little bit different than what we're used to. The 50% races. Just trying to keep an eye on the gap out front as we have it. So I think Luke is trying to get it under 2 seconds right now and trying to catch up as much as he can. Of course, being 100% race, they have a lot of time to work with here. So it's just going to be maybe a bit of a waiting game for them, just trying to manage your pace and manage these tires to push them as far into the race as they can before actually taking a pit stop. So no point really pushing too hard and just wasting the tires and having to take an early pit stop. Maybe costing yourself an extra pit stop. That's definitely going to actually cost you a lot of positions and maybe the race here. And Luke running in second right now. I don't think he wants to risk it. He's going to have to hold on for as much as he can behind Colm there and see when he is going to be pit. I think the two of them are going to be watching on each other actually to see who is going to be doing a pit stop first. board with him. I think he's trying to look for a gap. He might be going side by side pretty soon, but he's gonna have to be careful on which chicane he does decide to do this on, if he's gonna do an overtake into one of these turns, as it's a kind of a dangerous move to do depending on which turn you're trying to do it on. You might have to just wait for a straight portion of the track to actually get that done and use DRS, and this is probably a good point to try and get it done if he can before they actually get to the end. Let's see if he takes the inside or the outside. Looks like he's gonna have to take the outside as he's blocked off. Oh, and takes some damage. That's gonna be costing him a lot of time here. Oh, and that's some severe damage. That's gonna be in the red on his dash. They're showing him a lot of damage. I thought probably it was just maybe an end plate, but definitely a lot more has fallen off the front end for him. So he's gonna have to go into the pits now, taking a pit stop right now. And let's see what sort of tires he is going to be switching onto here, as the race is going to continue, pushing a few drivers up one position. They're going to be a bit happy about that. But let's have a look at penalties as we're having a look at him getting into the pits here. So penalties so far, we got a 3 second from Luke and Smitty, 6 seconds from EXO there, as well as Rapsy and TOT. Got 11 seconds on mini stroke, so not doing too well. And then Glow Star with an 8-second penalty. So he's going on to the mediums. We're 9 laps into a 53 lap race so far, running on the mediums. Let's see how far he's able to push this, and if he, I think he probably will have to take another pit stop here, because I don't think definitely last time I'll be able to go to the end of the race. And let's see what tires everyone else is currently running on at the moment. The most of the cars on the some on the mediums right now, and pit stops. We have a few cars already taking pit stops. That was Creamy, TOT, Bird, Gold Star, Dave, and AJ cars on the back 10th all the way down to pit stops already. So still yet they're going to have to take another one either way to get to the end of a 100% race here. So running into lap 9, we'll be into lap 10 pretty shortly. And let's see what position changes happen so far. So Dave, they're losing the most position, we know, because he had a very bad start at the race getting into that wall. And it's going to be a bit of a mix of her drivers, so see who's going to get driver of the day on this one here. But we have a long way to go before even talking about that. So maybe we'll hold off for that in just a bit. I think the only drivers holding on to their starting positions was Colm and Sternface there. That's P1, P4. So they're not doing too bad so far, at least not losing any positions, but they're going to have to work. Well, Sternface is going to have to work on terms of gaining maybe a position or two if he can. And Colm is going to try to finish his race on pole as best as he can right there. We're going to be checking in back in just a bit with penalties and see how that's been going so far for drivers here. So let's see who else has a closer gap. Let's get it back out here to Surface there in P4. He's still chasing down Smitty in the house in P3, trying to get up into a podium position if he can. And he's still under a second, so he does have DRS, but it doesn't seem to be going too well right now. He's trying to catch up as much as he can. So he has one horse in front, and I think one behind him, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, he does. So Smitty and Lord running in horses, and he's trying to catch us. Let's see, we got the EXO trying to get very close to Lord right now. And if I do put a graphic on, I think we'll see most of the drivers will try to maintain their ERS and just use that overtake when actually necessary. They're going to have to be very careful about that in terms of spreading the usage out throughout the race, because and actually getting it to recharge as well. So a few minor gaps still being maintained under a second. We're still following the EXO because his gaps have since been going and coming for just a bit. And he is going to be under threat from another car that's requires this behind him there in P7 for as long as he can hold on. I don't think he's a bit worried about that. I think what he's more concerned about is getting up into P5 right now, as he does have that gap just about half a second and under, and trying to keep it there as much as he can. I think he's going about trying to look for a gap to just go side by side with Lord if he can't and then get by. He's just trying to be a bit careful about it, as I think Lord's car is currently recharging. You can see the red light blinking it back, so it might be a bit of slower. Hopefully he's able to take advantage of it and maybe get by if he can. That Stern is getting very close out front to Smitty there as well. We're going to switch it out in just a bit if we do have that going any closer than it is. Let's have a look what's happening with them actually here. And yes, Stern is getting as close as he can, but getting a gap to go by is not as easy as you would expect it to be, and especially with a track like Russia, you run out of straights on the track so quickly that you gotta just be careful about how you approach and overtake. And he's about to go side by side here right now, going by pretty easily actually, and gets that overtake done. Let's see if Smith is able to come back at him, which I don't think he will be. So he's gonna have to settle for P4 for now. That's Stern up into P3 now, takes the podium position, and let's see if he's actually able to keep that car there going further into the race right now. Colm there is still holding on to the lead of the race. 2.7 seconds is the gap. He's increased his time by a few tenths, and Luke is I think I can't remember if he's losing time or gaining time on the car behind of him, but with the switch happening, he's gonna have to be a bit careful now. So that gap is starting to break down. Stern is working his way up the field and trying to get to Luke there in P2. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that in the next few laps time. Currently running on lap 12:53. A gap of just 0.3 of a second. He's actually pretty close, Smitty here, and trying to get back his final podium place if he can. But let's have a look. He's going to have the advantage of having DRS over the and Stern went way wide, so leaving room open for Smitty to try and get a little bit more closer and get by here now. Doesn't seem to have too much of a tread behind him, as Lourdes is about 2.3 seconds behind. So and there is a safety car. Something's happened on track somewhere. That's perhaps with a few-second penalty. Why we have a safety car right now? I'm trying to figure that out because no one is currently out of the race. So something has happened somewhere on track though. I don't see any cars stopped on track, so I'm not sure what's happened to cause the safety car right now. Trying to have a look to see if anybody has some major damage. That Mercedes has some serious damage on it. That's Mini Smoke. I'm not sure if there was an incident with him and someone down the back here that caused this safety car or not. But either way, we're going to be under a safety car for just a bit, and we do have some pit stops being triggered by that, because who doesn't want a free pit stop at this point in the race, which is, I think it's like just the perfect time for the guys out front to start taking their pit stops, so which is what's happening right now. We got the top 7 cars all in the pits at the same time. And that's going to be Haas double stacking it because both of their cars are in. So we're still not yet sure what's caused the safety car to happen, because no driver is out of the race. I'm just only suggesting it's probably an incident involving Mini Smoke here and someone else, because he's lost a good chunk of his front wing. Let's get back out front to see what's happening. So Lord there, I don't think he pitted, which is why he's running P1 right now. Going back out, took a pit stop, getting back out in P2 and running under the safety car. So I think, let's see, he's going to be on fresh tires, so it's not going to be pretty hard for him to get past and get back the lead of the race. He's running on hards, and let's see how far he's able to actually push those hard tires to go. Not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the end of the race on them, but definitely going to be able to push as much as he can. As we usually know, we tend to have some penalties handed out during a safety car, especially for cars speeding under it or speeding in a pit lane, or just hitting the car in front of them and then just causing some damage and taking a penalty for it as well. So it does tend to happen for just a bit. Let's have back a look at penalties at where they're at right now. So 12 seconds of penalties now for Raps. You remember, you do get a disqualification from the race if you accumulate way too many penalties, totaling a certain amount of time, which I really can't remember at the moment. But he's nowhere near that at the moment. He can double that if he likes and still keep it in the race. He's going to have to be careful not to do that. You really don't want a disqualification from a race just because of penalties here. So we're gonna have a look at tires for just a bit as they are on the safety car to see what everyone is switching to. So quite a few cars with penalties. I think just 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's about 5 or 6 cars not having any penalties at the moment, which is probably going to help them. We're going to have a look at that as it comes to the end of the race. We haven't gotten nowhere near the halfway point as yet. But we do know a few drivers are going to be losing positions because of penalties with 100% race there. Definitely going to be racking it up just a bit. We still have maybe a few more drivers doing pit stops at the moment here, because they're not going to want to wait for after the safety car to do this, because that's just going to cost them even more. I think Lord there is, he's running on 13 laps all soft tires, so he's going to be under some serious pressure from Cole running in second on fresh hards. Definitely going to be quite easy for him to get by. I'm not sure how much of a fight Lord is going to put up out in front, but I wouldn't force it too much if I was him. Knowing the car behind me is going to get by either way, and he's not racing that car since he does have to take his pit stop and will be pushed down a little bit further down the field. He's just going to try and hold on to that lead for as long as he can before actually taking a pit stop. Having back a pit stop. So Lord is the only car who has not taken a pit stop in this race so far. I'm not sure how far he's trying to push those soft tires. If he's trying to do some sort of one-stop miracle by doing I don't know, as much laps as he can on those softs and then just switching onto the hards and going down to the end, knowing that a lot of cars will have to do another pit stop here, and hopefully that's going to save him a few positions in the race. We'll have a look and see what exactly the strategy is, because he definitely is thinking about doing something here, because he seems to be taking towards a one-stop by just going onto the hards at some point in the race. But let's see how that works for him, because those soft tires are going to be coming to the end of their life, being on let's see, I think around 14-15 laps. Safety car is going to be on this lap confirmed by race control, so 13 laps on the softs. By the time we get back racing, that's going to be 14 laps. He's going to have to put at least maybe 3-4 laps before taking a pit stop here to avoid losing too many positions. So let's see how that works out for him, because 13 laps is a pretty long time. We also have Dave running 11 laps on his tires. He did take one pit stop in the race earlier when he had an incident at the start. And I think we're just about to get back restarting here as everyone is about to go across the line. I think Lord is going to have the best chance of getting away first, which he's going to be trying to do to get away from Chrome as fast as he can. And we're back racing again. Track is green for everyone going over the line, and Chrome is already getting very close to him, going side by side, and he's going to get by before the end of sector 1. At least gets into the lead back of the race. Oh, and we got Luke trying to fight it for the lead. I think someone just went way too wide. That was Luke getting a 3-second penalty for that. I don't know if that even cost him. I think he did an illegal overtake as well by trying to even do that, and he seems to have lost more positions now. Actually, I think it was Coleman that did the overtake on that one. They might have just cut it a little bit too wide, but let's see what's happening. So Cern now takes away the lead. Luke running in second, Smitty running in third, and Chrome running now in P4. He's definitely going to have to try and get it back if he can. Trying to follow out front as much. We got QT just gaining a position over Grossard down at the back. That's Smitty going a bit wide. Hopefully no penalty for that one. Takes it back onto the racing line just to block off Requires coming just behind him. And let's see what's happening out front. Luke is getting very close now, going side by side, getting past Stern. Takes away the lead of the race, has the inside. Stern does have the inside on the other location though, but Luke doesn't get it because that must be the blocked off. That puts Racing Point down into P2. Luke takes away P1 for now. Also pretty close together, so still a lot going on. We got Chrome getting back up into P3, gets past Smitty, puts Smitty down to P4. Let's see if he's able to get back and lead the race. I think Smitty was looking to get on the outside of him through that section, but not able to do so. The car's also pretty close to these guys getting kind of fight for a position here, and quite a few position changing out of that. We got some pit stops happening again. I think for maybe cars that had a bit of an incident on that restart there. definitely fighting it to try and get back P1 if he can't here. Luke's still holding on to it for just a bit. Smith is coming up very close behind Colm right now. So we get at least 4 to 5 cars fighting for the lead of the race. And let's put it about 4 cars fighting for the lead of the race at the moment. Actually 5 because Requaz is behind them. They're coming as well. And this Smitty and Colm side by side once again. Two of them are going to be fighting this out for P3. Smitty takes back P3, Colm down back to P4. Obviously with a 3-second penalty, so not sure what's going on in the back as it. We'll have a look at that in just a bit. I think Stone is trying to go on the outside. Not sure if he's able to get this done or not. I think he's hold it at least through this 90-degree turns as for now. He's still trying to force his way, trying to get it through to back to P1. And Smitty is going side by side and he gets up into P2. That is Stern losing another position instead of gaining one down to P3. Colm's coming about half a second just behind there. DRS is back online again, so that's going to be helpful for quite a few drivers running right here. But except for Luke, who's currently leading, Stern down into P4 right now. Colm takes it away, goes up into P3. And he's definitely fighting it to get back up into the lead of the race right now. Right where he started, he definitely isn't going to be losing it. I think the safety car did not really work too much in his favor as he was having a great race out front before all of this even happened. And as you know, safety cars tend to have definitely some contact between the two of them there. And I think that was Stern and Colm will take some damage off of that. I think as well, yep, he lost an end plate on that one. Not severe damage. Is kind of drivable, but it's going to be costing him some time, especially to fight for the lead of the race here, because that is definitely going to hamper him getting around some of these corners around Russia. Not going to be too easy. I think Stern took some damage from that there as well. Have a look. See, I think he probably is missing, yep, definitely missing an end plate as well. Not sure if it's a bit more than that. Might be between yellow getting to the orange on their graph side, so that's definitely difficult. Both of them are going to have to pick up his stuff back at some point to change when they're ready. I'm not sure when they're going to decide to do that, but this is getting in the way of Colm's. He got back into the pits. I don't think he planned to pit back so early because he did go on to the hard tire, so he wasn't planning on pitting out, but that damage is going to cost him if he doesn't do it at this point. Getting back out front, following with Smitty right now. He's still at it, trying to chase down Luke, and let's see if he's able to get back the lead of the race. And I think Luke is just swinging all over the track out in front, just trying to keep him behind. Just for now, with the gap being so close, Smitty will have DRS advantage, and they have seemed to gain some times from Requaz down at the back since the incident with Colm happened, but not too much. I'm actually still under a second going, just not so much under half a second, but we're just trying to keep an eye on what's happening with the leaders out front, because these two seem to be getting dangerously close, and this might not end well if either one of them just tries to force it at the moment here. And when that DRS does come to play, it definitely is going to mean Luke under a lot more pressure in terms of keeping his car out front if he's able to actually do it. I think it's the closest gap we have in the moment. There's a few close gaps down at the back they do want to switch to, but try not to miss anything happening at the front here. We still got 4 cars fighting for the lead. First Requaz on EXO are still pretty close together. They have to fight it out for at least P3 first before heading out in front, deal with Luke and Smitty here. They're still chasing each other around. I think Smith was trying to take the long way around, but still not able to get a gap going here as well. Seems to be very close. This doesn't seem like it's going to end too well if there is some sort of contact happening between the two of them here. I think our other gaps down the back have eased off for just a bit, at least maybe. Still have half a second between Gold Star and Dave down in midfield there. And a few more cars taking penalties. I think Requires is the only car now not having a penalty, which might come to an advantage for him. So following with Exo and him right now to see what's happening here. And they will go side by side. That is Exo going up into P3. Takes away a podium position. That's Requires down to P4. I'm not even sure if he's going to be able to get this back. But he seems to already be losing time. Exo seems to be heading out for the battle out in front of him. I don't think he wants to settle for P3. Definitely going to be fighting it to get up there. So Chrome down to P10 right now after his pit stop and his incident that he had earlier. Stern is all the way down to P14. I think Stern might have taken a penalty in that incident, which is why he's down there. Might have had to serve a 5-second penalty in the pits, which is probably what cost him a few more positions than what Chrome actually had there. And we're still following on with Smitty and Luke. This doesn't seem to be going anywhere at the moment. They're still going to just be keeping each other's gap just about 0.3 of a second each. There's still about 4 cars still fighting it for the lead. I think Requires is not getting too close. Might just trying to be a little bit careful with them, as does seem to be getting a bit dangerous out front in terms of if something does happen, he does get to take the lead of the race away pretty easily. So might be hoping for that. Still see a lot of penalties being handed out. We're going to have a look at penalties back again in just a second to see what's going on. Just as soon as this is over, it's going to be over anytime soon. Do have Luke and Smitty going side by side again through that parabolic. Not an easy section to go wide around a car on and avoid contact at the same time. Doing a good job though, trying to keep Smitty behind for all of these laps so far. We're on lap 20 right now, starting to get close to that halfway point in the race. We still got 15 drivers in this, so not too bad at all for a 100% race. Yep, they're still fighting it out. I think Mini Smoke might have just got the position up on Dave. Oh no, Dave is back into the pits there. He's probably on his second pit stop there now. This problem doesn't seem to be easing off anytime soon, which is why we gotta just keep following, at least for the moment, to see what's going to happen here. I'm quite sure if we just switch it up. Oh, and that's me with a 3-second penalty again. The quad still has no penalties, so I don't think Dave has any penalties there as well, or maybe no, he does have penalties just in the pits. Like literally 1 second of total time between, actually less than a second between the total time between these top 4. And Luke is not giving up that lead, at least not without a very long fight, and which is has been actually for quite a number of laps now. They've actually been at it. Is trying to keep as close as he can without getting too much involved in this, but I think he might just be waiting for a gap open for him to just get past maybe both of them at the same time and just go straight into P1. Everyone just seems to be sticking to the racing line, just going until they could get an opening to work with. Oh, that's Combe there with the fastest lap so far, 137.5, and he's running down in 9th. He's gotten one position up, so he's finding his way back up to the field at the moment. He's probably going to be hoping maybe for another safety car, or maybe just using the pit stop strategy just to try and get his way back up if he can. Following EXO right now to see if he's able to get past Smitty, which he might be trying to do, because I'm not sure how long he's going to be happy waiting there in P3 for these two to finish whatever they have going on up front. Let's switch off on that for just a bit. That's what's happening down in the back. So we got Stern running P13 right now. We got Dave and AJ just behind him. So he's about half a second behind Lord, who is currently in P12 and running. Don't worry, we're just keeping an eye on what's happening out front there still as well, as that gap still gets very dangerously close. It just keeps going and coming for just a bit. Getting on board with Stern. He's getting pretty close, but he's going to have to work with his DRS, and I think he's about to get past Lord as he goes around the outside, but let's see, he's going to have to brake just behind and hold his position for the time being at least. Doesn't want to risk it and lose more than what he already has lost already. I think Smitty just lost a position out front, fighting it with EXO. There's bit of minor contact between them, and that is EXO probably out of the race. Let's see what's happened to him. So definitely having some trouble here. That was a bit of a close call, really caught that one there. So that's caused Request to move up straight up into P2. Luke leading still. Smitty's lost a bit of time now. He's now running in P3. Ramsey's got up to P4 right now. Grimmy running P5. EXO now down into P6. We got a close start up into P7. Mini Stroke in 8. Home running 9 still. We got TOT in 10. Bird running 11th and Stern in 12. He's gotten up at least one more position there behind Board now. On lap 23 or 53 and running, so it's still about at least 30 laps more to go. And not sure why Smitty's car or something like that, but that tends to happen from time to time. Might just be a delay in his end or something, I'm not sure. Either way, gap between Luke and Esports right now just about 0.3 of a second, so battle just going on for the lead now as Esports tries to take the inside, doesn't get it, has to just hold on for at least for the moment. I think he might have just been working on saving his tires in the back behind them when they were all battling for the time being out front. And he's now definitely going to be using it. He seems to be using on the faster tires either way, so he should be able to get by pretty easily if he has the race pace to do this. Might have to just depend on his DRS for just a bit. Let's go on board for just a second to see how close he is able to get. And just get side by side and get ahead. I think that's him taking away the lead for the race. Luke goes down into P2 now. It's really about 1.2 seconds behind. So that's going to be a battle going on once again in just maybe a few laps time as he's able to catch up. Not sure if Smitty has any damage in him. Let's have a look at that. I think he's fine. Doesn't seem to be missing anything on that car. That front wing is perfectly good to go. But I think Rabs here. Let's see. I think I did see something missing on his car, but he seems to be fine at the moment as well. Mini Smoke is out of the race, and that's a safety car for on right now. Let's see what's happening. If we can have a look. I'm not sure where his car is, and it's stuck somewhere here. There is on the left side of the track, so definitely straight into the wall. That's gonna be it for him. I think Home just got a drive-through penalty. He's out of the race as well. I'm wondering, was he involved with that incident? I'm not sure. Where is his car? Because I can't see it. Either way, that's about 4 drivers out of the race there right now, and we're just getting to the halfway point at this point here. The 13 drivers still remain. We got 2 of them in the pits at the moment. I think that's a safety car just waiting for requests to get around and get behind him. Well, let's see what's going to happen in terms of pit stops here again, if we're going to have cars taking pit stops on this safety car or not. And that's a drive-through penalty for AJ there, which is going to cost him quite a bit. I think Colm did give that drive-through penalty as well. Not sure if he served it or decided to just retire the car from the race though. They're getting into lap 26 here right now. Let's call that at least halfway. So let's have a look at what's happened so far here. Getting back into this. Position changes so far. So Glowstar gaining 15 positions. So he's looking at driver of the day if he can continue this all the way to the end of the race. Let's see what else has happened. Stops so far. So Bird taking 4 stops, not having a great race all the way down there in 12th. And Requas and Glowstar only taking 1 stop each so far, which explains a lot why they're running so high up at the moment. Okay, so with 13 cars in, hopefully everyone here is still able to finish this race all the way to the end. Tires which are currently running, so we got Glowstar running on 20 laps on those hard tires right now, which means he stopped around maybe lap 6 and took a pit stop then. We got Requires on his soft tires doing 12 laps so far, so Glowstar definitely is going to be able to know that, you know what, Requires is going to have to pit at some point very soon, and he's going to be able to take away the lead of the race. So I know Red Bull starting off having a bad day in this race, but they seem to be doing pretty well, getting away up here, running P2 and P5 at the moment here. We have Ramsey down in P5. Let's see what penalties are like. The only instance here though is that Ramsey has 18 seconds of penalties now, where his teammate has just about 8 seconds. Requires, however, just no penalties at the moment, which is good for him if he can keep this going, and it's probably still going to put him on the podium if he can get a good position after he takes his next pit stop. Which I'm not sure when he's going to decide to do as yet, but he's going to have to do it at some point within the next maybe 10 laps. Because I'm not sure how much longer those tires are going to last him. Of course, they're going to be doing pretty fine under the safety cars. He's not running on full potential at the moment. They are losing a bit temperature, running this slow under a safety car. It should be over maybe by end of lap 28, hopefully. I think those incidents on track should have been cleared by now. I think Mini Smoke just lost his rear end, which is why he ended up in the wall there. It is very difficult to keep full control of the car, especially when racing this hard as the guys have been so far. So everyone is, I think Lord is the only car yet to catch up. So everyone is going to be very bunched up as we get closer and closer to the restart. much, I think. Lord is trying to catch up. I'm just about 7 seconds behind Board and has enough time with everyone running so slow to just catch up and get back with the safety car queue before we do get back started with the race, which I don't think is going to be on this. It looks like we're going to have to go at least one more lap. I didn't really pay attention if, oh, there we go, safety car is going to be in on this lap, so we're getting back racing into lap 28 and going. Second half of the race should go by pretty quickly as everyone is going to be trying as much as they can to make up positions and see if they have to make another pit stop or not at this point, because race strategy is a little more different with this kind of race setup. Alright, so we're back racing again. Let's see if Glowstar was able to get a good go on the cars out front, and we got Luke already getting back up into P2 right now. So fighting a go with Glowstar currently running in P3. They're going side by side. Let's see who gets out of this one in front, as the Red Bull has the inside. And a bit of minor contact between them. They go a little bit wide. I don't think any damage came off of that, so everything seems to be okay so far on running. Riposte is going to get out in front, maybe get a lead going at the moment there. We got a three-way battle going on for P2 between Glowstar, Smitty, and Luke. And doesn't look like this is going to end 100% well. Someone might have taken some damage there. I think Luke did take a severe amount of damage off of that for just a second. I'm not sure what happened. He seemed to have lost a chunk of his front wing. Perhaps he's falling down the order just a bit there as well. So a bit of minor contact might have caused some damage for a few cars on that restart. Gap between Glowstar and Riposte out front very close together at the moment. Everything might be a bit wrong, but we'll have to look at that, see what's happening. Perhaps he's falling down the order just a bit, going down to 7. We got about 2 cars going into the pits right now, I think. So a bit of chaos on the restart for this safety car at least. But quite a few cars getting damaged, getting penalties, and having to do a pit stop here. That's definitely going to be costing them a lot of time. That is turned up into P6, Rhapsody onto P7 right now, and Birds are chasing him now in P8. What's happening out front right now? A bit of battle going on, I think. So Riposte is about 5 seconds out. Glowstar and Creamy fighting it out right now for P2. We got Smitty just behind them for this as well, so he's still trying to fight it at the moment, trying to get up into P2 if he can. Oh, we got Smitty trying to go alongside with Grimmy right now. Let's see if he's able to get by. Does get up into P3, gets Grimmy down to P4 now. He's lost the position trying to fight for one. I think he did go a bit wide on one of the turns, which cost him a bit of time. Still running pretty close behind Smitty. They will follow with Smitty on board for just a bit as he chases down Glowstar right now, looking for a good gap to get past at the moment. He's trying to try and take maybe the outside of this. No, just keep on behind for now. Oh, I think that it did result in a bit of damage from Grimmy there. I think he might have touched the rear end of Smitty's car. I'm not sure as yet. Everyone turning DRS on, and let's see who is getting up here. I think Smitty and Glowstar are going side by side. Grimmy trying to get in on that. I definitely lost an end plate there for us. Second, I think I did see that go off. The Bird has gotten passing now up into P4, he's down to P5. Getting back to the battle out front at the moment. So Glowstar still trying to get back his position. Now just lost it. Smitty up into P2. Still fighting it with him. And Bird trying to get it on the battle there as well. That's quite a few cars going wide. They're trying to hold on to their positions. Prix is having some trouble keeping his car straight on track at the moment. And I think we have him going maybe, not sure what's happening. He's slowing down, as it does seem right now. And that's a virtual safety car for those. Oh, there, Rabzi is out. That's what the VSC is about. So on lap 30 right now, that's a Red Bull out of the race. So that's going to leave 12 drivers in to finish the race here. Let's get back out in front. Anyway, the VSC should be over in just a bit as we're following. Let's see how far Prix is out front. I think he is quite a way out front, actually. Not sure what that gap is, but seems to be a pretty big one. He's about half a sector in front. He's about 13 seconds ahead, with everyone fighting for positions behind him. So he has quite a lead to work with here. Getting down here to Smidias, we should be getting back to this restart pretty soon. Everyone trying to keep as close as they can to the car in front of them before we do get back started with the race. They're going to have to just be careful not to speed under the VSC and receive another penalty, as that's definitely going to cost them there. And we're back racing again. The track is green except for sector 1, I think. Just seems to have a yellow flag still for some reason. Maybe someone going slow, I'm not sure. But either we're back racing again, following with Smitty to see where he's at right now. We got Lord and Dave, I think, going side by side. A bit of minor contact between them. I don't think that resulted in any damage with anyone though. Of course, Dave is missing an end plate on his car. Not sure what point in the race that happened. That definitely is going to be costing him a little bit, but he seems to be trying his best to keep Lord behind for now at least. And that's Luke out of the race there as well. So Ramsey out, Grimmy out, Luke out. So that's 10 drivers remaining in the race at the moment. Lord and Dave going side by side again at it. Dave, even with that broken wing, is still doing pretty well to try and keep the Haas behind so far. I don't think Haas has any damage at the moment. I think Requires is starting to lose some time. Now those tires are probably starting to lose their grip on track. I think because he's now 10 seconds in front of Bird. He was about 13 seconds. It was his lead when he did get started back. So he's losing a bit of time. Might be thinking about doing a pit stop pretty soon. But Bird being his teammate here is what's going to be helping him out. If these two are in competition with each other, I'm not sure. Because it's going to be up to Bird to hold everyone back. But hopefully his teammate can take a pit stop if needed. Let's have a look at what tires are like for him. So Glow Star still 13 positions gained. And Bird's doing 4 pit stops so far, currently running on 6 lap old mediums, so he might be pushing to the end on those. 18 laps on the soft tires so far for Requires, so not feeling so great on those. I'm quite sure he's feeling the wear on those tires, so that's going to be going off on him pretty soon. If they do get to 100% wear, they are going to blow. That's going to be the race for him. I don't think he'll be able to make it into the pits back in time to get out back here and still get a good position. And of course with 10 cars, only everyone does get points in the race. So, but still, I think he doesn't going to want to get P1 because he's been holding it on to it for quite a bit now. Get down back into the middle here with Glowstar and Dave. Glowstar currently looking at getting driver of the day at the moment with the amount of positions he's gained on track so far. And following with Dave and Lord, the two of them seem to be pretty close together. That's a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Dave there, as he's currently in the pits doing another pit stop. He's doing quite a few pit stops already. So a few drivers not having the best of race here today. A lot of drivers, 7 drivers out of the session, but still, if we can have the top 10 finished, that will be pretty good to see. On lap 33 of the race, there are about 20 laps left to go. I think I did just see some debris flying on track, or maybe that was just something else, I'm not sure. So Lord's car does seem to have some in-play damage there, and he's still fighting it for positions here. Has TOT coming behind him, trying to get up for that position, but not allowing him to get by as yet. Still trying to hold on to his position there in P5, because he's I think he's a little bit more worried about getting up into P4, as I think AJ just might have lost a position. No, yep, just lost a position to Exo out in front, as Exo goes a bit wide though. Gets a 3-second penalty for cutting that corner. Getting back to Glow Star, getting about 0.4 of a second behind Lord right now. Still trying to get up into P4 if he's able to do so. A bit of a gap building between most of our cars are front. Of course, requires losing some time now. He's lost another 4 seconds, as he's now ahead only by 6.6 seconds from Boyd behind him too. Smitty running another 5 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds behind in P3. So a bit of time for them to work with and try maybe to catch up to everyone in front of them if they can. Glow Star is the only car with the closest gap, I think, at the moment, about 0.6 of a second. I think about half a second at least to Lord out in front, and he's gonna try his best to see how close he can get right now. We're probably using DRS and using his overtake as much as he can. We probably can put that on for maybe just a little bit. Telemetry on for just a bit and see what's happening on track with ERS at the moment. So ERS management, if it's not that great on your level, is something you got to really think about, because he has just about 10% right now. He does need to recharge that for a bit to at least have some. Let's see how much Lord has. So he has about 40% of ERS to use, and he's gaining that as he goes, not even using it at the moment, and doesn't even have the DRS advantage that Ghost Star seems to be having at the back here. And so he's gonna have to probably just hold off on using any more ERS to save that up just a bit, as he's about to have DRS again. Even with the DRS, doesn't seem to be helping him, as Lord is not even using his overtake. So it definitely shows the amount of straight line speed between the two cars at the moment. I guess this goes to show how much setups really do matter at driving on the game. So let's see if he's able to still about 0.3 of a second. That gap is not going anywhere. Someone is in the pits right now. I think that's Lord getting into the pits. This automatically is going to put Glow Star up into P4, which is quite sure he's going to be happy about. Doesn't have to be worried about fighting it to get up to P4 right now. He's about 13 seconds though to catch up. The Smitty here is currently running P3. That's Exo with a 5-second penalty. He's currently in the pits there as well. That's for speeding in the pit lane. See, we're currently on lap 35 and going right now. Not a bad point in the race. We'll be getting down to the end very shortly. So a gap out front has actually dropped significantly. It's now 1.5 seconds between teammates requires on board here. So not sure who's the faster runner driver, but what's going to happen here, because if Boyd is catching up to his teammate this fast, they might want to think about actually switching these cars, but that's going to be a team order. I'm not sure if Requires is going to be happy to have that happen, but actually that's going to be happening either way, because it seems that his teammate is into the pits right now. So that's going to put Bird up into P1, because he does have to do another pit stop, and that's Bird with the fastest lap, 135.6 for race pace time so far. And let's see what his teammate is up to. Going on to, let's see, maybe mediums, and yep, it is. And getting back out. Let's see where he does come back out on track though. I think he has enough time. He's going to make it onto a podium position here still, and probably get to go to the end of the race here now. And has enough time between him and Glow Star down at the back. Oh, actually, no, this getting up very close. It's going to be quite close between him and the Red Bull at the moment. And this definitely just going to put Glow Star in a fighting position for P3 now, just behind him. Gap out front between Bird and Smitty is about 12 seconds, so more than enough time for them to work with there in terms of getting both Renault on the podium here. But Lord, he's in a bit of a trouble at the moment. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to hold off Gold Star. Let's see what the tire life is on his car at the moment. So that's about 30 laps done on those hard tires. So it does seem like he might have to think about taking a pit stop. I'm not sure. I'm trying to have a look at his tires to see if they're actually showing severe wear, but sometimes it's just not showing that. But he does seem to be fine. Maybe he's managing it well. I'm not sure how hard he's been pushing on the tires, but if he can carry it all the way to the end, it'll be pretty good for him. But that's going to be a tough call to go with. He might have to do another pit stop before getting to the end of this race, as he's only done one so far, so quite sure he's going to have to pull another one off at some point. And so that means he's going to be losing the P4, and that's turned about 17 seconds behind requires right now. So that's going to save him some time and allow him to finish there in P3 if he's able to keep that position at least. He seems to be gaining some time though, because he's now 3.2 seconds ahead of Gold Star, so that puts him up for just a bit. We're going down to EXO, who's currently running P8, trying to chase down TOT about 0.3 of a second. And gap out front seems to be just be building a little bit more, so 14 seconds between Bird and Smitty, and requires about another 12 seconds. I think with 100% races, it's just a little bit more about tire management and fuel usage as you do deal with the setups of the car, because you gotta just set them up right just to make sure that they don't wear away the tires so fast. Because if you can save yourself at least one pit stop in a 100% race, definitely it does help a lot in terms of your finishing position. But you gotta just think about that. There's definitely going to be safety cars, there's going to be PSCs, and you gotta account for damage because of contact with other cars, because that does tend to happen from time to time, especially when you're battling with another car to get some positions up. See where we're following right now. We got TOT just trying to get under a second actually behind EXO. Let's see if he's able to do that. As Bird is gaining a little bit more time, about 15 seconds ahead of Smitty there now. So that's working pretty well for him. Smitty is not able to catch up at the moment. He's probably hoping to get to the end of the race on that there. I think we got maybe about 15 laps left to go here, which is not a lot of laps left now, especially counting for a 100% race. Penalties are definitely getting somewhere where they're going to be at a dangerous point pretty soon, with EXO having 20 seconds of penalties, TOT having 21 seconds, and then Dave having 11, AJ with 18 seconds, Gold Star with 11, Stern 6, Lord 6, Smitty with 9 seconds, and Bird there with only 3 seconds of penalties. So definitely Bird is looking at getting P1 if just 3 seconds of penalties for him. Smitty there is, with the gap that he currently has, he can hold on to P2. That is, if requires, can get his gap under 9 seconds, which is all he needs to do. If he does talk to Jeff, he'll probably know what the penalty time is, so he'll try to work his way and get as close as he can. But it's the one thing you need to do in when you're racing like this, just get as close as to the car in front of you as you can. So even if it does have penalties, it's going to help you out, because Prix is the only car right now without any penalties. In 11 seconds of a gap, he just needs to gain another 2 to 3 seconds and keep him that way. I'll think about 5 seconds. If he can gain that, it'll be pretty good for him, and that's sort of another penalty there. So Lord now has 9 seconds of penalties. So just looking at what finishing positions are going to be like here. So going back out front, we got Gold Star 11 seconds of penalties. That's probably going to keep him there. Of course, with Stern only 6 seconds of penalties, this is kind of going to be a close call between these guys here, and then going down to EXO and TOT with their 21 seconds of penalties, and Dave with just about 11 seconds. That's going to probably put him up, and maybe AJ maybe up 1 position if he's lucky here. So we're going to see how the finishing positions do go in terms of that there though. tires at the moment. Those tires are getting very, very old at the moment. Bored on 13 laps on his soft tires. I think he's more than enough push those tires to the end of the race, which I think is what he's going to try and do. I don't think he's going to try and take another pit stop here. He has about a 17-second gap to play with here, though. So he's getting very close to the point where he could actually do a pit stop if he wanted and have a fighting chance to get back the lead of the race. But he's going to have to be very careful about when he does it. If he's gaining time right now, that means those tires are still working. Maybe do another 2 to 3 laps on them, and then just give yourself at least a 9 to 10 lap gap range where you can get enough time to get by and get back into P1, which is already 18.4 seconds ahead now. So that's actually gaining some time there. And if he gets it, I'm not sure what the lap time, the pit stop time here is for Russia, but with 18 seconds, maybe gaining another 2 to 3 seconds, and definitely take a pit stop at that point, risking it, and yes, you'll be fast enough to get by Smitty with his, but Smitty having only 13 laps on those mediums, I'm quite sure it's going to be still quite competitive. He's going to have to be careful about that one. Very careful about the decision if he's going to be taking another pit stop here or not, I'm not sure. But hard tires there for Glow Star running 34 laps now. It's pretty interesting for him so far. TOT running 13 laps on his soft as well. And let's see how far these guys are willing to push with the tires as they are. And Boyd has done 4 stops already, so I'm not sure if he's able to want to do another stop. So still Glow Star looking for getting driver of the day with 13 positions gained. Oh, and we have Boyd 14 positions gained, so he's going to be competing with him for that. So it's going to be between either Bird or Glow Star getting driver of the day. We're going to see which one of them is able to get it. Let's see what our closest gap is. I don't think we have way too much of a close gap to work with. Following on with our leader for the moment. This engine sounds very, very weird for some reason. He's just gaining time. I don't know how he's doing it right now, but he has a lot of free air to work with in front of him, and it's gaining him a lot of time right now. 19.5 seconds. He gained a whole second at least for the past lap. So he definitely is going to have enough time to make a stop if he really wants to do this or not. I think he's going to think about how much time it's going to cost him. Alright, so let's go down the order a bit. So requires running in P3 at the moment, about 11 seconds behind. So he's still trying to keep himself in a position to get P3 if he can. As Glow Star with about 13 seconds behind him. So I think the lap time is basically what's going to call it out for him right now. That's turn running in P5. It's about 5.7 seconds behind Glow Star at the moment. So everyone's going to be a bit spaced out on track. A lot of free air actually for everyone to run in with just 10 cars running at this point in the race, and just about 12 and a half laps maybe remaining here. At least 12 laps remaining right now. Yep, let's call it up. We just went to lap 42, so that is about 12 laps left to go. On average about maybe 15 to 16 minutes at most of racing left. It's quite an interesting race for the start so far. Quite a number of incidents happened throughout this race, and there's some really good racing for the first half of the race there, though. Getting to the second half is getting a bit quiet right now, but we do have a close gap starting to build between, I think, Lord and Exo here. Let's follow on board with Exo for just maybe half of a lap time or so to see how close he's getting to Lord's car right now, as this is another battle starting to get very close with the two of them. As Exo seems to be gaining some time, has the gap under a second now and is getting closer and closer as we go. And is thinking about using that overtake, but just switches it off, or you knows he's going to get DRS. Uses the DRS to get as close as he can, and let's see how close he's going to get. Doesn't put any ERS into action as yet. as neither is Lord. He's just saving it up as well, just in case he does get past. I guess he's going to probably use it to make a counter overtake back. Got 22 seconds between Smitty and Boyd right now, so Boyd has a lot of time to do a pit stop if he wants to, but I don't think he's going to. He seems to be doing pretty well on those tires. I think they can make it to the end of the race, so he's probably going to just be pushing them either way to go. And we're looking at EXO trying to get a pass on Norder right now for P6. And starts to go side by side. Let's see if he takes the outside and he was able to get past. Gets past pretty easily, actually, pretty cleanly. No contact between the two of them, and that's him up into 6, or down to 7 now. I think he's going to just take that and just work with it. And let's see how the penalties works this out coming down to the end. We're getting very close to that end point, just about 10 laps left now. Got Dave about 8 seconds behind POT and AJ about 28 seconds behind. So AJ is probably just running his own race down in the back. So he knows he's getting P10 either way. So I don't think he's too worried about it. Just trying to keep the car in the race and get it to the finish line just to get some points in. And I think EXO is starting to gain some time off of Lord right now. 1.4 seconds he's gained so far, and Bird is gaining some significant time out front. He's up to 23 seconds for his gap right now, and is finally taking a pit stop. Let's have a look at what tires he's about to go on, because he's going to come back just in front of Smitty here. I'm not sure how close that gap is going to be, but it's going to be a bit of a battle between the two of them going to the end of the race, maybe. But with he does have a next set of soft tires to go on. He's going to work with that going to the end of the race. Let's see how close. And there comes Smitty around the pit straight and going around. Let's see how close this is going to be between the two of them, and it's getting very close. So Smitty does get back, takes back the lead of the race. That's poured down into P2 on fresh soft tires, on the fastest tires he has. So he does have, let's see, that's at least 9 laps to get by here. And he should be able to actually do this. So let's have a look how close he's going to be able to get. Running on a faster tire and on pressure tires. I think Smitty's just letting him go by, not going to fight him too hard on this. Let's see. Nope, not going to fight him too much. He knows he's on fresh tires and he just took that pit stop, so he's just going to let him get it back. They're just going to be working against penalties here right now. So it's going to determine who wins this race. And Smitty does have his 12 seconds of penalty, so I think that's why he didn't really fight it as well, because he knows Birds only has 3 seconds. So he's not going to be worth it to risk fighting him for the position when he's going to lose it anyway when he goes across the line. Because as this close to the end, he's really not going to be able to gain much time, especially with Bird being on these soft tires as it is. So we're going to leave the penalties on going down to the end of the race here. So at least we'll be able to see what's going to happen or not. I think Stern has just gained the position off of Glowstar there. Glowstar down to P5. Not sure they take a pit stop there or not, or they're just fighting it out right now. They're actually pretty close together. Bird is already starting to gain back his time. He already 1.9 seconds ahead. Following its turn right now, at least chasing down Glowstar, sees he's able to get by up into P4. Gonna have to hold his P5 at least for now. Let's take back off penalties for the moment, and let's see what tires are on. We got EXO coming into this battle there as well, so that's trying to get up into P4. Does seem to have gotten it done. Gets around the firewall. Okay, so he's gotten up into P4. Glowstar down to P5. Of course, he's still under pressure now from EXO. So he just got up into P5, puts him down to P6. That's 2 positions lost in one sector on the track. They're starting to get back some close gaps of racing, coming closer down to the end of the race here now. Gap is building quite fast out front, which is expected though that Bird is on his faster tires. He has about 5.6 seconds off of Smithy right now. Lord still requires still running in P3, about 8.4 seconds. These penalties are really where it's going to come at coming down to that. We'll probably get that up before the by the time we get maybe into lap 52. Let's have a look at that again to see where we are with it. That is currently Bird the fastest lap at 133.7 so far. Following with EXO right now, he's about 0.6 of a second behind Stern and running, trying to get up to P4. Let's see if he's able to get this. He's gotten pretty close so far. Might have lost maybe a 10 there, going a bit too wide on that turn. Also following Glowstar and Lord there, P6 and 7 to see where they're going to be at. 7.5 seconds is the gap between Bird and Sweeney out front already. That gap is increasing excessively fast. Of course, he is on that faster tire as EXO is about to go past Stern here right now. Gets the job done, goes up into P4, Stern down to P5 now. Let's see if he's able to get it back. As we do have Lord getting very close to Glowstar down in the back and trying to go side by side with him. Maybe trying to take away P6 if he can. DRS is coming to advantage for them. Yes, they are keeping in that 1 second range. Does seem to be taking a better line than Glowstar, and it might actually be helping because he's getting pretty close. He might have tried to go around the outside in that instance, but not able to get it done as yet. Has a few laps left to go, at least 5 to 6 laps of racing left here. So more than enough time actually to get this done. And I think he's had him around the outside now, going side by side. Has the inside on the parabolic going around. That's Lord with P6, Glowstar down to P7. Stern is trying to keep his gap under a second right now behind EXO, but I'm not sure how much of a good luck he's having doing that, as that seems to be going and coming from him for just a bit. Glowstar is starting to lose time here right now, 1.2 seconds behind Lord now as well. Following on with Stern, let's see how close he's able to get to EXO's car. They're running on lap 47 at the moment. I got Bird in sector 3 right now. He's about to go into lap 48. That's going to be leaving about 5 to 6 laps of racing at the moment. That's not a lot of time to get some positions up, especially the penalties that we have. And requires is the only driver still not having a penalty in the race. That will be one good thing for him there. I think he's be looking forward to getting a position up if he can, because of not having that penalty. Still about there's a few laps left to go, but still anything can happen coming down to the end of the race, as we've seen with so many different races before. Let's return back to the overhead and see what's going on. Gaps are starting to go away from us for just a bit, but I don't think that's going to be lasting for very long. It's just over a second, which is not hard to bring back down. And I think everyone's going to be pushing as much as they can going down to the end. Let's see where we are. We're currently on lap 48 and running. Getting back out front, Bird is running his own race out front, just about 14 seconds ahead. And I think he's getting into a bit of traffic right now. That's AJ in front of him, who's currently running in 10th. He should be ghosted, so he's going to be going by because the blue flags are on either way. Smitty running is 14 seconds behind, still trying to catch up. Doesn't have a lot of time between him and Requas behind his house. It's about 7 seconds. I think he's trying to gain as much time as he can. I'm hoping that helps him out coming down to the end of the race. So Reno definitely getting a lot of points for the first race of the season for TNRC. They're running both on the podium at the moment. And then we got EXO there at 19 seconds behind. So he has a lot of time to catch up and very limited amount of laps. He's got 4 laps of racing left here now. So coming that close down to the end, I don't think he's going to be able to gain much more time. We're going to go back to the penalties in just a bit. Actually, let's have a look right now to see what's been happening with that. So it does look like Bird is taking pole position for the race and might be taking driver of the day as well, and maybe taking fastest lap as well. We'll see if he gets all 3 in one here for this race. That would be quite a feat to accomplish for the first race of the season. And he's done 5 pit stops and still running out there in P1, so he's definitely having started off having a bad race, I guess, and he's having a good one now. He's done something right in this race so far. I see 22 laps on those mediums for Smitty, 23 laps on those softs for TOT, so those softs actually do go quite a while. Penalties as they are, 23 seconds for EXO there, beats anyone else. Then we got Stern running here in P5. He's about 2.1 seconds behind EXO right now. So we're trying to chase him down to the end of the race. There are 3 laps left to go. So not a lot of time for him to actually try and get that position up. Lord running in 6, Glowstar here in 7. There's a bit of a gap between the two of them. TOT running 1.4 seconds behind Glowstar. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up right now. Doesn't have any damage on his car, but still having some difficulty catching the car in front of him. The gap is about 1.1 seconds right now. We're following on board for just a bit as we're just going to lap 53 to see if he's able to catch up right now. Dave there's have a very bad start to the race, but still at least running P9, going to get some points at least for his team. And AJ is just trying to finish the race right now. That is quite an unbelievable gap out in front though, with 19.9 seconds, and he's done that in a very short amount of time. Let's see, we got QT with DRS right now on Glowstar, trying to get as close as he can. DRS actually did help him quite a bit, and he has about 50% of ERS to use. So let's see how well he works with that going to the end. If I'm going to just take that off now, I don't like to keep the screen too cluttered with all of that information. We can put on telemetry, no, not telemetry, sorry. Lap data on, so at least you know what lap time are running for each sector. That gap is just about 0.3 of a second now, so he's definitely catching up. Coming down to the end, a lot of things tend to happen close to the end of a race. On lap 51 right now, or 53. Red Bull coming under some serious pressure right now. His teammate is out, so definitely doesn't want to be losing this position. And there they go side by side as TOT seems to get by pretty easily. Let's see if Glowstar is able to get this back or not. Seems like he might have to settle for P8 for the race finish, but we'll see how the penalties play out to keep that there. Yeah, oh, and TOT gets a now 3-second penalty, so that's definitely going to affect the race positions down the end. We'll see how that works out in just a bit. Gap is still about just under a second between TOT and Glowstar at the moment. time gap is starting to go up, just about 1.4 seconds now. So coming very close down to the end of the race. Let's get the get our information on. So most of the drivers have gained position except for Stern lost 1 and Dave lost 7 positions, still running in top 10. Stops as they are, and then let's go on straight to penalties right now. We're going to have a look at this as we go to the end of the race. We'll probably follow along with Bird as he finishes his final lap. I think he's about to go straight into lap 53 there right now. But not as yet. I think that was just probably request going. I'm not even sure yet. Yep, that was his teammate request going across the line, not him at the moment. So he's still running in sector 2 right now of lap 52, and then we'll get into the final lap pretty soon. So either way, it's been a pretty good race from start to end. Qualifying was actually a pretty tight one with a lot of close lap times, seeing those 133s and going. And yeah, it was a pretty good start. Safety car in the race VSC is still usually happen in a race. A bit of incidents here and there, but still at least 10 drivers finishing. Only 7 drivers not able to finish this race. I think we were missing a few drivers today because I think we were supposed to have a full grid, but a bit of a other issue with that, but that is fine. Still, we got 10 drivers finishing the race, which is actually pretty good. 25 seconds though is a gap between Bird and Smitty here. So these two of them running pretty well as we have Bird beginning his final lap here right now. I'll follow back with him in just a bit. Let's see how AJ is running down with the back here by himself. He's like 27 seconds behind Dave and running. Not able to gain time really here. I'm not sure if he's gained or lost time. He's still running pretty well down with the back, and with 24 seconds of penalties, not sure how that's going to work out for him. Let's see, guy in front of him, that's Dave, has 11 seconds of penalties there. So we got Bird currently running in sector 2, so he's coming very close down to the end of the final lap of the Russian Grand Prix right now. So let's see, he should be able to finish there and actually keep the race win, but I'm just trying to see if he's going to be able to get driver of the day and fastest lap as well, as I'm currently not sure who has the fastest lap here, but we should be able to get that. As soon as this is done, we'll get straight into the final results table and see who has the fastest lap. Alright, and he goes across the line. That's pole position for him. Bird takes it for P1, 133.4, and that was his fastest lap, so he does take fastest lap so far. Let's see if anybody else is able to come across and get even a faster lap here. I think that's AJ behind him. We're about to go across the line, so he's taking his P10 from now. Yep, that's it for him, so we're following. Hopefully audio is working. I'm not sure if it is. So Bird does get driver of the day, and let's see what our final results here looks like, as I did miss that for just a bit to see how the penalties worked out. Okay. Okay, controller seems to be working now, so hopefully audio is going through as well. Alright, so Bird takes pole position, takes fastest lap, and driver of the day. Then we got Request taking P2, Smitty takes P3, Stern goes P4, we got X2 and P5, Lloyd in 6, Dave takes 7th, Wolfstar goes down to 8th, TOT in 9th, and AJ takes his 10th. At least that is it for everyone who finished the race. Not finishing was Luke in 11, Grimmy in 12, we got Rabs in 13, Coleman 14, Smoke there in 15th, Dizzle in 16, Wilco in 17, and that is it, at least, guys, for the Russian GP round 1 for TNRC. And I think next race we'll be doing round 2 for SNRC coming up on Sunday, so look forward to that.